Welcome back to the Cheap Heat Productions podcast. Welcome back to the Cheap Heat Productions podcast, and today I've got another guest that's very memorable from the wrestling world, Mr. Bryan Clark, that you will know from Adam Bomb, Wrath, One Half of Chronic, and The Night Stalker. How are you today, sir?
Doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's great to catch up with you, man, and thanks for joining me today on the show.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, I suppose over the last year, your presence on social media and podcasts and merch and things like that, you've really kind of rejuvenated your presence online. What brought all that about?
I think a part of it was when COVID hit. There was a lot of things that were either closed or minimal type hours kind of thing. And I've always been very creative, and I always wanted to launch my own merchandise. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. It just didn't happen. Like I said, I've been working on this for a while, and I just got connected with the right people. But as far as getting connected with Pro Wrestling Tees in the U.S., and then also Wrestle Merch UK / Europe, Wrestle Merch Central. Both of those companies have been great in helping me get my line out there. I think with Pro Wrestling Tees, I have about 19 shirts, and I've designed every one of them. Had a hand in, if not all in, on every single piece, because that's what I did. Is I just designed, and here in my office, this is my man cave, and
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I'd come up with ideas when I'd be at the gym doing my cardio. I mean, I'd come up with ideas and stuff and come home and then sketch them out. And then, okay, I want these colors, this font, this logo, this saying, that kind of thing. And so I just thought about it and worked on them. I found a guy in California that has been my graphics person. And then another key was that I hooked up with Tom Fleming, who is he's now with Marvel Comics, and we reconnected after a long time. He was the one who created Atom Bomb, as far as the drawing and almost all of the look. I added a few things of my own, but Tom was responsible for that, and we reconnected. And he just did a new art piece for me, which we've turned into a shirt, poster, a little bit of everything.
And how are the t-shirts going for you? They're obviously distributed kind of all over the world. It must be mad to think that you still have that connection with the fans.
It is. It's very humbling. It really is. I've always been very fan friendly, very fan interactive. And so I love it, man. I've got so many bookings here now that COVID has calmed down. I've got bookings almost to the end of the year. Speaking of shirts, I'll just show you this. This is just one of one that this is a Wrestle Merch Central shirt, and you can see just the brightness and the way it pops. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we've done a lot of Wrestle Merch has UK store has like 3 pages of just unbelievable stuff, and then again, so does PWT's. So they've both it's been great.
It beats the kind of everyone going around wearing a black t-shirt with a white font on it, really, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, this is a very, like, for example, this shirt is a very retro shirt. I mean, it could be a 70s, 80s shirt. But I've got all the stuff that's in black. I've got some stuff that are in red. Some colors you can select. And I sent you a few things to give you an idea of what some of the things I got working on. So, I mean, there's not limited just to a black T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's a lot deeper than that.
And in the description to this video, we're going to link those stores.
Great.
So you've got 8x10s available on your eBay page. Is that correct as well?
I do,
Yeah.
but there's going to be a lot of other things, including all these items you see up top here. That's my newest recreation.
You need to hold one up and show us, because this is the best piece of merchandise I've seen in a long time.
Here we go, brother. The Atom Bomb Squad footballs. These are exact replicas of the original. There with the Bomb Squad logo, if you can see that there.
Yeah.
They're, to me, honestly, I think they're better than the original. I got them from a really, really good quality company here in the U.S. The thing is that I'm only doing 100, so it's a limited series. You never say never. I mean, there could be a series 2 if this just goes. But I've had so many requests of people say, I want the first one, or I want one of the first 10.
Yeah.
And of course, I can't promise that. I'm just going to have to, when I announce it, then I'm taking it as it comes, so that it's fair to everyone that does want them. And it's mostly collectors that either wanted one back in the day and didn't get one, or something happened to the one they had.
The dog bursted or something like that.
Yeah, the dog ate it up, and that's very my dog, when I got these, she wanted to play. And I was just like, you can. I only got 100 of these. You cannot tear this up. But I did get some photos of her with it, though.
Yeah, I seen that. It was really cute as well.
Yeah.
Did you have any original of those footballs left?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you send them to your designer then?
I did. I sent them the photos and said, this is exactly the way it has to be. I sent them 5 or 6 different angles, the logo, everything. That's why I said I think they're brand new. They're as good, if not better. To me, they feel just a better quality. They're thicker. Just everything about them. But yeah, that's how I did it. I had I took my original, took all the photos from all the different angles, and they said, yeah, we can do it. And I was just like, great. That's, because I wasn't sure if I would have to go to China or somewhere to get it. And luckily, I found a company.
Very good. And they're going to be on sale very soon, probably by the time this video is out next week, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah. So how did you become involved in this world of professional wrestling? What roads led you to where you were?
I think a lot of things. From my high school days, I didn't play. I played little neighborhood sports, but I did not play any organized sports.
Yeah.
I basically worked. Honestly, I always had a job ever since I can remember. And through high school, and after the high school, I joined the military.
Yep.
And the military taught me so many positive things, and one of the biggest ones. And my stepfather also got me into this. Was weight training, and I was combat trained in the Air Force. So I went through all my training, and then once I got to my first assignment, I started hitting the weights as hard as I could, and eating everything in sight, man. Because I'm tall, and I had to pack on that size. And then when I got from my first assignment in the U.S. was up North Dakota. But from there, I got sent to Belgium, which was a worldwide remote assignment protecting the ground-launched cruise missiles that were there at the time. And I was lucky enough to continue my weightlifting and powerlifting training, and I was lucky enough to make the U.S. Air Force powerlifting team. And I won the U.S. Air Force's and Europe powerlifting championships.
Wow.
And then from there, I got stationed back in the U.S. And I had I'll go back to how I got to this, but I'm trying to give you a little idea of from the military. I walked on to play college football, and with no high school experience,
Okay.
walked on in the spring game, got a full scholarship, and I was a starter by the fall when the season started. I was a starter. So that led me to all the weight training and the strength and the speed and all the things I'd worked on to get to that point, because I knew that I wanted to play college football when I got back to the States. But the wrestling bug probably hit me when I was 8 or 9 years old. I mean, I absolutely loved it. And I think I was hooked on it from a very young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As most of us do be.
Yeah.
If you were to pick someone from the wrestling business that you never got to fight, who would it be?
Stan Hansen, possibly.
Okay.
Always idolized him, and I got to. I've met him a few times, but the biggest thing that I ever got to do with him was when we won the All Japan titles in Osaka in a sold-out stadium arena. He presented us with the All Japan titles.
Wow.
Which I have right back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these aren't collector's belts. These are all belts I've won.
Just, yeah, they're not for sale.
No, never. Yeah, that was the pinnacle. Having Stan the Man Hansen present me with me and Bryan with those titles was nothing ever topped that.
Yeah.
Nothing. There are a few other guys that I didn't get to work with. I never got to work with Rick Rude. But just about everybody else of my era, I worked with. I mean,
yeah, and it was very much a golden era as well.
Yeah, 30 or 40 casket matches at least, maybe more. Brett, Savage, Flair, seemed like everybody.
Yeah. What would you say the main difference, looking back on your career, was between the working environment in WWF and WCW? What were the main differences between working between those two companies?
Well, everybody's story is different. Everybody has a different relationship with different people. With me, I thoroughly enjoyed working with Eric Bischoff in WCW, whereas with working with WWF and working with Vince, for me, he was hard to get a meeting with. He was hard to get to talk to. I don't know if it was that there were so many people trying to meet with him over ideas and concepts and where am I going, what am I doing thing. But Eric always had time for me, and that was very important to me. And also the fact that I wasn't the only one. There were a lot of guys in the same situation. But the fact that I was on the road for 290 days a year, plus being away from my family, the wear and tear on your body, and he was going through his big steroid trial, so our pay was horrible. I finally, I'm thinking to myself, man, I finally made it to the big time,
Yeah.
And I get here and I'm just like, go on the road for 7 days, come home and I see the check and it's unbelievable. It didn't add up. So it was not a hard decision when it came time for me to leave. I left because I wasn't fired. I left because I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And, I ended up going through a divorce, two surgeries that they never even offered to pay a dime for, on top of them not paying me anything. So I'm paying for my own surgeries now. Back then, they didn't even have an EMT at the arenas at times.
It's crazy when you look back on it like that, with how dangerous
and
if something goes wrong.
Yeah, and the concussions, and you got an emergency, you take yourself to the ER, and hopefully you can get stitched up and stapled up in time to make sure you catch the flight in the morning. The working conditions, you just had to experience it to understand it.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, I got to go and see the world 20 times over. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been everywhere, and I had some great memories, great guys. So those are some of the trade offs that you have.
Yeah, probably the big negative experience is that time away from your family and
Yeah,
missing those occasions, such as birthdays and maybe family weddings and things like that. I think that's the only thing.
yeah.
Obviously, this year has been different with the pandemic, with people kind of for WWE and AEW stationed in Florida, and they probably had as much time probably with their families as they ever have. But when stuff gets back to normal again, they're gone. They're going to be all over the world again.
They will, but they still will never run them as hard as they ran us. I think maybe they learned a lesson. Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh, but we worked through injuries. We didn't get time off for injuries. I had to beg to go. I had to beg Vince to let me go have a shoulder surgery. He didn't want to let me have it. I couldn't even raise my arm. Just one
yeah,
example. It just where in Atlanta, if I got hurt working for Bischoff, he understood. I mean, it's like this is not. As Brett Favre would say, this is not ice capades.
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I
So
think when CM Punk left the WWE that time, he pretty much he was going around hurt like, and he let Vince have it and Triple H on that podcast, and he seemed to be experiencing some of the things that you were talking about as well, even in a kind of a modern sense, which is surprising to hear.
yeah, and I do not doubt it at all because their motto is the show must go on. Well, I don't always agree with that.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases,
Do you watch much of the business these days, Brian?
occasionally I do. I watch some AEW, just because a lot of my friends are on there. Justin Roberts and Jericho and Lance Archer and a few guys that I follow. Yeah, so I watch their product. And I don't always watch it, but I do. If I don't watch it, I'll record it and
Yeah.
zip through it or something. But rarely do, and it could be just because of the whole pandemic. Maybe that, to me, wrestling in front of nobody or five people reminds me of like when I started and
Yeah, yeah,
everybody else did, where you're at the high school or the National Guard Army and there's 12 people there. So yeah, I mean, just made for bad TV, I think.
yeah, exactly. I've kind of fallen out of touch with watching it on a weekly basis, but I'm
Yeah,
excited now from a WWE point of view that the crowds are coming back next week, and I think
yeah.
it'll make a huge difference. Now, I know I seen Vince Russo sent out a tweet earlier, and he said, "Oh well, if the show is written badly, the crowd is not going to make a difference." Which, fair enough, he's got a point as well. But I just
He's
think
got
that
a point.
wrestling is one of the only sports that needs that live audience.
Well, if you noticed, I stopped watching the NFL a few years ago, but they tried it too with empty stadiums, and that looked pretty ridiculous.
Did
Um,
that go down badly over there?
yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
just from what little bit I could see and what I watched. Like I said, I used to watch it all the time because I was a former player, and so but I just got away from it because it's a game. It's not
yeah,
politics. I don't need to hear your opinion about this. I don't need to hear your opinion about anything. Just shut up
yeah.
and play the game. You're being paid very well to play a game. And
Yes, there's a
so
lot of that creeping into sport over here as well.
yeah, and so yeah, I just refuse. I got other things to do.
Yeah. Do you find that one of the biggest problems with the business is now that it doesn't have those larger than life characters, and it seems to be guys wearing black trunks, everyone looks the same. Is it just me?
No, I mean I think part of that you could be right. A lot of the guys do look the same. There are very few of those larger than life characters. Um, Like for example, when Vince let Braun Strowman go, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, yeah, I was very surprised.
Um, but now, and then there's the other guy, the real tall guy that's with AJ Styles. Like, who's he going to work with?
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
he's kind of just a bodyguard, really, isn't he?
yeah. I mean, who's he going to work? Who's he going to work with? But I mean, Strowman would have been the perfect guy for him to work with, but they let him go. So, uh, of course, I wouldn't be surprised if he does show up in AEW, and there are big guys there that he can work with.
Yeah, I think it's nearly a given that that's going to happen.
Yeah, and good for him, man.
Yep.
I don't know him, but I've always liked his style, and I just think that's the good, really great landing spot for him, and he'll have people to work with like Lance Archer. That would be a great big man power feud. That it would be excellent.
Yeah. Outside of the wrestling, you've done a little bit of work in TV. You're involved in the Mortal Kombat TV series, and I seen a film come up, Axeman 2, which I read the bio of and was really interested. I haven't seen it yet, but I will watch it. Is the acting side of things something that you're still open to?
Well, it's a little funny that you brought that up because this past weekend the director from Axeman 2 called me.
Wow, exclusive.
Yeah, this is exclusive.
Yeah.
We talked, had a long discussion. The reason Axeman 2 didn't come out like it should have was because there was some issues with I don't know if it was copywriting or what the situation was, a disagreement between the director and the sponsor, I guess is the word. But we worked really hard on that film. It's a B movie, a B- movie. It's a horror flick with a lot of crazy
Gore
stuff in it. But I have to say, I was very believable, menacing killer. I mean, I killed any and everything in sight. But the scoop is that we are looking at Axeman 3.
Cool.
And so, and another little scoop here is that after I had a few surgeries, so that's sort of what just sort of put me on the back burner, and I didn't even pursue it. My agent was sending me stuff, and I just said I can't right now. I've got a knee, and I've got a neck surgery, and I got to recover from this stuff. And I got back in touch with him, and so we are now back, starting to roll again.
So watch this space for the acting again.
Well, yeah. Well, there's not always a lot of room for a guy that's 6'6" plus in a lot of movies. You know, it's usually the 5'8", 5'7" Tom Cruise guys. You know, but occasionally they do need a monster
killer,
and I can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who is obviously you've kept in touch with people from working in the wrestling business. Who would your closest friends be from working across the world?
Oh man, you lose so much. You lose touch with so many guys.
Yeah,
and guys move around after they retire. Like me, I've moved from Atlanta out here to Arizona. I've been out here for 16 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, it just varies. I get occasional calls from guys and I'll call them. And a lot of it is through, a lot of us keep in touch through social media. But I travel with so many different guys at different times in my career. So it's just hard to pin down just one. But I hear from different guys all the time.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah.
I seen you were doing a couple of virtual signings online as well throughout the past year. Are you looking forward to getting back into the nitty-gritty of actually meeting people and getting out there and seeing the fans face to face?
Sure, absolutely, man. I like I said, I'm very fan friendly. I like doing that. I enjoy it. I've got bookings, Albany, Hartford, Los Angeles, Las Vegas twice. I'd have to look at my calendar here, but they're just rolling in Chicago, a lot of different areas that are just like I said, and I'm hoping UK, man. That's my because another thing that we have not discussed is my new action figure with Cella Toys out of the UK.
Okay.
And so that should be really, really soon. Pre-sales for that probably go on sale, I'm guessing, within a few weeks. I should have sent you over. I forgot to send you over a photo of
Yeah.
the.
Have you got a prototype of it? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
It's a green card, like the green card ones that are running for, I don't know, $700-800 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's the green card. But this one is the outfit is from the '93 Survivor Series pay-per-view. It has removable goggles, it has glowing eyes, and it has gloves.
Yeah.
And so they just put so much quality work into those guys. I had a couple of places in the U.S. that wanted me to sign with them, but Cella just blew them away, man. And we are going to do a first time ever, never been done, Chronic tag team.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's with Cello Toys as well.
Cella, and then we will probably do Wrath and a couple of versions of that. So it's going to be a whole line, a whole series. And they've been great to work with, man. Excellent people.
Yeah, figures, man, are like they're after really making a comeback for collectors as well.
It's a retro thing, and it's hot.
Because I've got Ahmed Johnson on the show in a couple of weeks, and I made contact with him a couple of days ago, and he agreed to come on the show. And then I was thinking, he was the first ever action figure I had. I wish I still had it.
It probably was. Yeah, they are really. I mean, the prices are crazy.
Yeah,
they really are going up, and I feel confident, man. Just with because I send out when I get ideas and stuff, and when I send them out to all the groups and sites and the collectors that I'm friends with, and I just think that the Cello will sell out, and they'll probably end up making another series just because it's going to be that good. And the same thing with the footballs and the other stuff. I've got, and then also on top of this, I purchased my trademarks for Wrath, Atom Bomb, and Chronic. I purchased those through my trademark lawyer. For now, when I say trademarks, I'm talking about for action figures and toys and T-shirts and clothing and merchandise, not for the video library that's that's what that is. This is my stuff. This is not the library. That no one will ever get that. But this stuff is mine, and so I'm going to do as much as I can with it. I think there's a lot of stuff I can do with it, and I also want to branch off into a workout fitness apparel line. So I got a lot of plans on all the different
horizon.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, you're a really busy man, and I know by the way that you're talking about this, you're passionate about this as well, and you're not just going to let anything out the door. Like, you're going to critique it, you're going to get feedback from fans and stuff like that, and you're going to make sure it's 100% perfect before it hits the shelf.
Absolutely, I will not send out anything that I think that is not quality, that's not really thought out. And I send a lot of stuff to Jonathan.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you, I mean, I send a lot of stuff to him first. He's one of my go-to guys that will say, hey, that's great, or that sucks.
Shout out to Jonathan. Subscribe to his channel at Pro Wrestling Defined.
That's right, man. That's my buddy. And that's great, because you need that kind of honesty and feedback.
Yeah.
Because there's been a couple of times he's like, you need to change this or that, or whatever it may be. But yeah, there are a few guys. He's not the only one, but there are a few guys. The PWEF family website here in the States. A lot of my buddies are on there, and so I get a lot of feedback from those guys too. So yeah, there's, I give those guys some credit because I appreciate all their help they give me.
Yeah. Would you ever consider a return to the wrestling business in a agent role or a trainer or a commentator or anything like that?
I definitely not a trainer. No.
Yeah.
There is an Arizona Pro Wrestling Center here in Phoenix. I went up to back in January and just had a talk with some of the students for, God, we probably talked for 3 hours
Yeah.
just about the business and stuff and giving them an idea of what they may be in for. And that was enjoyable. I liked that, talking to the young students that were there. And there were some guys that I felt had some potential.
Yeah.
So yeah, but as far as being a trainer, no, I wouldn't want to do that. An agent, I don't really see me as an agent, or even a commentator. I've had a lot of offers to do podcasts,
Yeah.
US and UK both. But right now, I'm just sort of I'm doing the 64-man tournament on WWAD, which has been really fun because it's not, like I said, it's not just wrestling stuff. It's doing everything from improv to Jeopardy questions like world history and stuff and knowledge.
Yeah.
And so it's fun. It's cool. I mean, you get to cut promos and stuff leading up to the person you're going to be going against, and then you go head to head. And if you lose, you're out.
Yeah.
So I've advanced to the second round. So so
I'll give you a fun question.
Okay.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you needed to pick 3 wrestlers to accompany you to survive, who would they be?
Oh man, that's a good one. Wow.
I'll give you an example. I had Rene Dupree on a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Tori Wilson, Tori Wilson, Tori Wilson.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, see, I was just thinking about buddies of mine. Okay, so now you open it up, a whole different thing. Bryan Adams, hands down, number 1 pick.
Yeah.
He was so funny. He made me laugh. He's a former veteran. He's just like me, except 100 times more, much more comedy, man. He used to make me laugh so much that, God, I miss him so bad. But him, number 1, no doubt, him number 1. The best friend I ever had in the business. Secondly, we got to have a good looking girl there. I'm sure. God, there's so many pretty girls. I want to say, is her name Dana Brooke? Is she?
Yep.
I think she's a really cute girl.
Yeah.
Way too young for me. But maybe we're thinking about when I was younger.
Never say never.
Yeah. That's a tough one, though. I don't know. I think she's got a lot of talent, not just being a good-looking girl, but she's got a lot of talent. And then I need somebody that can really knows their bushcraft. somebody
to hunt and get food for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, I don't know, man. I'd have to think of. There's a few guys that are. Rick Steiner is very into hunting. You know, so he might be a choice.
He'd be a good character to have around as well, I think.
Who's that?
I think he'd be a good character to have around.
Oh, he's hilarious too. Yeah. Him and Scotty both are great. I love those guys. I used to live right next to him when I was in Atlanta, and we would jet ski race out on the lake.
Jesus.
So, yeah, some great times, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably the girl could be switched out to there's so many choices.
Yeah.
But like a guy that can hunt and know what then me and Bryan would just probably stand around telling jokes and laughing our ass off. So that's probably the way that would end up.
Yeah. Listen, man, it was an absolute pleasure to catch up with you today. I hope you had some fun. I sure did.
Yes. Like I said, follow me. Be welcome. Anyone. I'm really almost full on my Facebook page, but I'm at Real Bryan, which is spelled Bryan, just like on the screen there. At Real Bryan Clark, Clark, on Twitter. And there you can, and of course, PWTs is under Adam Baum with all the new merch. And Cella is coming out, and it's going to be massive. And then all this other good stuff you see is on the way.
And all the links to Bryan's socials and his stores will be in the description of this video. Thank you so much, man. That was a lot of fun.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you having me, and thanks a lot. And I'm really cannot wait to get back to the UK.
Brilliant.
Thank you.